Praised be Jesus and Mary. Saint Elizabeth of Hungary was born in 1207 and married. And despite the fact that she was noble, married a noble. In fact, she married the Landgrave, so the ruler of a portion of the Holy Roman Empire. Despite her high position and great wealth, she nevertheless chose to live a very poor and simple life. A life of penance, a life of austerity, and a life of works of charity. She had 3 children, but already at a young age, she became a widow. So she married in 1221. Her husband died in 1227 on a crusade. So having become a widow, she decided to renounce the world and became a member of the Third Order of St. Francis. She died shortly after that in 1231, and today she's the patroness of the Third Order of St. Francis. Like all saints, St. Elizabeth of Hungary had a great devotion to Our Blessed Lady. I'll give you a few examples of that. And the first is that when she was still little, she already put herself under the protection of Our Lady, which we could say was a consecration to Our Blessed Lady. She obviously learned that growing up. Somebody very pious taught her that practice, and she embraced it wholeheartedly. She entrusted herself completely to Our Lady from a young age. Next, she had great confidence in Our Lady's intercession. For example, when she would hear of the death of somebody, whether a loved one or just an acquaintance, she would go to the cemetery and pray to our Lord, but specifically asking our Lord for love of his Blessed Mother to free that soul from purgatory. Right, so that confidence in Our Lady's intercession. Love for the souls in purgatory, but confidence that our Lord does not refuse the prayers of his mother. So Jesus, for love of Mary, free the soul from purgatory. That would be her prayer. On Saturdays, she would fast in honor of Our Blessed Lady. It's a tradition of many saints, well known in the church. Saturday is a day of Our Lady, and she would honor Our Lady by this corporal penance. And she even died thinking of Our Lady. The night from November 16th to 17th was her last night on earth, and during the night at a certain point, when she was close to death, she said, "Wow, the hour has come when Our Lady gave birth to Jesus," most likely thinking of the fact that Our Lady gave birth to our Lord, according to tradition, right around midnight, in the middle of the night. So that was on her mind. In the middle of the night, thinking of Our Lady giving birth to our Lord, her last words on earth, and then she breathed her last. And then there's one more example of her devotion to Our Lady that's also the conclusion of this little reflection. So her whole life was dedicated to the service of the poor. She loved giving away all of her wealth to help the poor. And like in our day and age, even back then, poverty was caused by many factors, and it was very present. And she, having the means, would love to help the poor, but she would ask for one thing in return, and that thing would be a prayer. She would ask all those to whom she gave assistance to pray a Hail Mary for her, for Saint Elizabeth. And it was a great act of charity because, again, she helped them materially, but asking them to pray was also an opportunity for them to practice devotion to Our Lady, for her, Saint Elizabeth, to gain from being prayed for, etc. So a beautiful way to honor Our Lady. And it made me think that, Our Lady is such a great gift to us from God. We are like the poor in the life of Saint Elizabeth. We turn to Our Lady, and we hope to receive good things through her intercession. And she does exactly that. God has given her the power to obtain for us what we need. And a way to show God gratitude for Our Lady, for her mediation, for her goodness to us, is to practice that goodness, to show it to others as well. What Our Lady does for us, on a much smaller scale, of course, we can do to others. And thank God for the gift of Our Lady, honor Our Lady, and and be transformed into saints like Saint Elizabeth, because that's what Saint Elizabeth's devotion to Our Lady did. It made her a saint. So these examples, I think all of them we can imitate, and we should. And with confidence that, of course, this devotion to Our Lady is very pleasing to our Lord. It's a devotion that all the saints had, and it makes new saints. Praised be Jesus and Mary.